It's considered by many to be one of the worst movies ever made. It features bad acting, a terrible script, and low-grade special effects. But the real star of the show has to be the actor who had to wear this costume, because after 4 days of shooting in the California sun, I can only imagine how unbearable this was. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the program. And on this episode, I'm going to be talking about Robot Monster. It's a movie about aliens trying to kill us all, which is something that we should all be worried about, because it could happen at any moment. I mean, we live in a time of non-stop uncertainty, as I'm sure you would agree. For example, I never thought that they would stop putting toys in cereal boxes, but they did. And ever since then, life has not been nearly as enjoyable. Throughout the years, Robot Monster has frequently been included in lists of the worst films ever made. But that's only because those lists are made by people who obviously can't appreciate the fortitude required to walk around in a gorilla suit for 4 days in Bronson Canyon. As I just mentioned, this movie was shot in 4 days of March of 1953 on an estimated budget of $16,000, and it was also shot in 3D, which was pretty popular at the time. From 1952 to 1954, there were over 50 3D movies that came out, but the novelty kind of wore off by 1955 as moviegoers started reporting getting headaches, even though it's still up for debate if the headaches were caused by eye strain or just the quality of the movie that they were watching at the time. This is one of those movies that's just another example of a really bad movie with a really cool poster. And just like many of the other movies I've featured on this show, the poster lures you in with stuff that doesn't really happen. I mean, the movie is called Robot Monster, even though there is no robot monster. But if you're a fan of this show, you really shouldn't be surprised. You should be used to stuff like that by now. So yeah, if you're disappointed, it's really your own fault. The movie starts with these two kids playing in Bronson Canyon, when suddenly they run into these guys in a cave who are like, hey, we're archaeologists, can't you tell? And it's good that they identified themselves because, you know, two grown men in a dark cave, they could be up to no good. You know, they could be plotting something evil or just doing bad things like smoking. And now that you know that they're archaeologists, you can trust them because an archaeologist would never lie. Anyways, Johnny's mother and sister show up and they're like, hey, you kids told us that if we took you on this picnic that you would take a nap after lunch.
At the camp I used to go to, we used to have to take a nap after lunch right up until we were 14.
Dude, I take a nap after lunch now. Nobody tells you this when you're growing up, but as an adult, during the day, you're craving any opportunity to just escape the world for a few minutes. I'll be honest with you, that's one of the best parts of being self-employed, living alone, and having no kids. I have the freedom to nap. I mean, yes, I'm a total insomniac at night, but at least I get little pieces of sleep throughout the day whenever I want. Anyways, I guess this is later and they're all asleep, so Johnny gets up to go search the cave, of course, when suddenly, I don't know, there's some lightning, a couple of lizards start fighting, there's dinosaurs, and then Johnny wakes up to find the place has been furnished with a mirror and some kind of radio bubble machine. A real man cave. But this isn't just any man cave, this is Ro-Man's cave. And Ro-Man is, of course, an alien with the body of a gorilla wearing an old diving helmet. Turns out the mirror is a screen so that he can video chat with his buddies back home, and Ro-Man talks about how he used his death ray to help start a bunch of wars on Earth. And see, this is what happens when you nap too long. You gotta set an alarm because, you know, 15-20 minutes, you wake up feeling refreshed. Any longer than that, and you risk waking up feeling really groggy, having no idea where you are, and it turns out the whole world has been destroyed and you missed it. Anyways, everyone is dead except for a handful of people for some reason, and that includes Johnny's family because, of course, they live in a pit surrounded by wires which protect them from the death ray and somehow make them invisible as well, but you gotta stay inside the barrier, Johnny. So Johnny says, hey, we should try to kill Ro-Man. And they're all like, Johnny, don't be stupid. That's impossible. The armies of the entire world have tried and failed. But maybe we could figure it out. Suddenly, Ro-Man calls them on their video screen Why do they have one? I'm not sure.
Due to an error in calculation, there are still a few of you left.
5 of us left? But this is incredible.
Do you wonder what happened to your fellows? Watch them.
What's going on? Is it not playing? Hey, okay, just let me take a look at it. Yeah, hi. So Roman wants to show you some footage of his ray gun destroying a bunch of cities or something, but we can't get the screen share to work, so just, I'm tech support, so just give me a second, okay? All right. Hey, Ro, when was the last time you updated the firmware on this?
I don't know.
You don't know? Like, dude, you got there's 20 updates here. How did you not see all these notifications? This is going to take like an hour. All right, where is the actual video file?
It's not on that computer.
It's not on this computer. Yeah, well, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? Yeah, and they're supposed to be scared of you. Okay, what is it on this? Let's just do this. Can you guys see this? Can you see that? It's like a bunch of death and despair and explosions and stuff.
What is their response?
I don't know. They're not saying anything. Are they on mute? Maybe they hit the mute button? Are we on mute? Did you hit the mute button? Anyways, he tells them that there is no escape from him, even though they kinda already did. I mean, for an alien with some pretty advanced technology, he seems pretty hard-pressed to find the people that are living around the corner from him in a house that's not even a house anymore. It's been destroyed. It's basically just an open concrete lot. You might notice that the movie seems to take place only during the day. Well, believe it or not, but 11 scenes were supposed to take place at night. They filmed day for night, and then the lab was supposed to adjust the timing of these scenes, but that never ended up happening. So it just looks like perpetual daylight. So Roy shows up and he's like, hey, I figured out why we're still alive. Apparently the professor, that's the only name we have for this character, by the way. I'm serious. We have the professor, Mother, Carla, Alice, Johnny, and Roy. Anyways, the professor has been working on developing an antibiotic serum that will cure all diseases, and he's been experimenting by injecting his family and assistants with it, and that's why they weren't killed by the death ray. But there's a problem. The rest of the serum is on a space platform, and there's these two guys, Jason and McLeod, and they're gonna take a spaceship up to the space platform in 2 days, but Alice is worried that the people on the space platform will think that their spaceship is actually Roman, so they're gonna destroy it. So they actually have to send a message to the space platform warning them that it's not Roman, that it's actually Jason and McLeod, but the only way to do that is through the video screen. But the video screen only sends messages to Roman. So that means Alice and Roy are gonna have to rewire it, which is really hard to do, and they only have 2 days to do it. You see? So Alice and Roy get to work, soldering and soldering and soldering some more, until at one point, Johnny is like, hey, it's been 2 days now, and they're like, oh crap, I guess we're too late. I mean, in their defense, it is hard to tell when a whole day has gone by, since it's apparently sunny all the time. And I know you're probably thinking, damn, that's really disappointing. You know, after all that hard work and effort, it just wasn't enough. Well, you are in for a little surprise, my friend, because suddenly Roman comes on the screen and he's like, yo, I see your buddies in their little spaceship. So yeah, I'm just gonna blow that up now. Oh, and I'm also gonna blow up that space platform as well. Yeah, how do you like that? So there you go. Even if they finish the job, that wasn't gonna stop Roman from obliterating them anyways. So, in the end, it didn't matter. Nothing matters. Roman is like, okay, so I'm gonna come find you guys, but not right now. I'll leave in about an hour. I wanna have lunch and take a nap first. Oh, and just to be clear, once I find you, I'm gonna kill all of you. Just in case you didn't know. So the family is obviously very upset about all this, and they're worried because they're running out of food.
George, we can't go on this way much longer. Our food is almost gone.
What else can we do?
Hey, I got an idea. I mean, we know where he lives, right? He lives in that cave over there. And we have all these bricks lying around. So let's take a few of these, and the next time he goes out searching for us, we go wait by the cave. And when he comes back, we jump him and start bashing him over the head with these bricks just over and over again until he stops moving. And then we'll find something sharp and cut him open to make sure we finish the job. What? Hey, he started this. So Alice and Roy have to rewire the view screen again so that the professor can talk directly to Roman and introduce him to the family. And Roman is like, bitch, I don't care about your family. I don't have emotions. But I want to see Alice. Yeah, send her to come talk to me. Alice agrees to do it, but the rest of the family tries to convince her not to.
This is madness, Alice. Roy, you have to speak to her.
Look, I'm telling you guys, let's just do the brick thing. It'll be fun. We'll bash them good. So they have to subdue Alice, and during the commotion, Johnny leaves to go find Roman, and they don't notice this until later somehow when they have Alice tied up. Johnny finds Roman and spills the beans about being immune to the death ray because of the serum, and Roman is like, I'll just change the spectrum dust in the death ray to counteract the antibiotic or something. I don't know. This shit makes no sense. Alice and Roy go out to find Johnny, but get bored and decide to work on their miming skills for a while, which of course leads to sex, as it always does.
What has kept you two? We have heard it.
Now, really, Father, isn't it obvious?
Yeah, I mean, they were supposed to be looking for Johnny, who could have been in grave danger, but instead, they saw it as an opportunity to be alone so that they could rail. So they're like, hey, we want to get married. Can you marry us? And everybody is super excited. They're gonna have a wedding. I mean, you might as well. Everybody's gonna die soon anyways. So Roman calls his boss, and he's like, I gotta adjust the death ray. It's not working. And his boss is like, dude, stop being a bitch. Look at you. You're jacked. Just go beat them to death. What are you waiting for? The professor marries Roy and Alice and sends them off on their honeymoon? And where the hell are they going to go? Back to the bang ditch they just came from? Am I the only one who sees this situation for what it really is? You have an alien who's trying to kill you. And this is what I don't get. You know that you're immune to his death ray, and you know that it's going to take him time to adjust it so that it can kill you, and you're just going to sit there and wait for that? You're just going to wait for death. You might as well go out there and try to kill him. You literally have nothing to lose. You know where he lives. Start looking around, creating weapons. You got rope, you got wire, you got soldering irons. Get creative. What's the worst that could happen? You die? It's gonna happen if you don't do anything. So Carla leaves the house without anyone noticing. Don't understand why it's so hard to keep track of like 5 people, and she's not scared of Roman at all. She's like, my dad won't let you hurt me. So Roman proves her wrong by strangling her to death. I'm serious, that's what happens. And I kind of understand why they did it. I mean, the movie's kind of dragging at this point, and what did I say a few episodes ago? Nothing grabs an audience's attention like killing a kid. Seriously, it's like a script writing adrenaline shot. And it worked. As soon as I said he strangled her to death, you were probably like, wait, what? So yeah, this movie just got real. And it's a good thing too, because even though this movie is only 62 minutes long, it feels so much longer than that. It is boring.
No regrets, Johnny. We enjoyed her as long as she was with us.
Yeah, no regrets, Johnny. I mean, should I have been paying more attention so that she couldn't have run away from home? Yeah, but let's not act like this is some big loss here. I mean, she was like 4 years old. We barely knew her. Roman kidnaps Alice and takes her to his cave, and he's like, yeah, guess what I want? But then somebody starts trying to video call him, and he's like, crap, hang on a sec. I just got to, whatever. Bondage was never really my thing anyways. I'm just gonna knock her out. Turns out it's the professor, and he's like, hey, we'd like to die, please. Come and kill us. And Roman is like, dude, call me back later. I got a girl over. And the professor is like, no, we want to die now. So meet us by the ravine. I guess he just gets to pick the location. I thought beggars can't be choosers. Obviously, the professor is scheming something here, but Roman doesn't realize that because, you know, he's half chubbed, so he's not thinking straight. Then his boss calls, and he's like, you haven't killed that girl yet? What the hell's wrong with you? And Roman is like, dude, I can't do it. I'm pretty sure she likes me. But I'll kill that little boy, though. That's no problem. So I guess this was all Johnny's idea? And his mother and the professor agreed to it? Use Johnny as bait while the professor and mother go to the cave and mess up all the stuff inside? Just seems like child safety wasn't a really big concern in the 50s. I mean, I don't know, I wasn't there, but based on all these movies I've watched, at least in the movies, the attitude is kind of like, well, you know, if they die, they die. So Johnny just stands there waiting to die. He doesn't run away or do anything. Was that part of the plan too? But before Roman can finish the job, his boss, I don't know, sends out some kind of a signal that kills him and creates dinosaurs to kill the rest of the humans? Who the hell came up with this shit? And here comes the big reveal. It was all a dream. I know I've said this before, but I hate it when movies pull this type of shit. And you know what? I actually think that's a pretty disturbing dream for a kid that age to have, you know, filled with violence and sex and murder and destruction and death. But then they show Roman kind of coming out of the cave, but not really. And what makes it even worse is that it keeps going on for a while. Like they just keep replaying the same footage of him walking towards the camera 3 times. Now, the man who played Roman was a man named George Barrows, and he built that gorilla suit, and over the years he appeared in several movies doing bit parts that he wasn't even credited for, and a lot of times he was playing a gorilla. Believe it or not, this movie was actually super successful. It grossed over $1 million, and remember, it was shot in 4 days on an estimated budget of $16,000. So I gotta give credit where credit is due. I want to thank all of my supporters on Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon, and my YouTube channel members. I want to thank all of you for tuning in, but that's pretty much it for this one, and I'll see you all next time. Hey, I'm not crazy, okay? Like, this guy destroyed everybody on Earth except us. I'm not the violent one here. I'm just retaliating. In fact, I think this is actually pretty tame compared to what he did. All right? Bash him good. Just bang, bang, bang. It'll be fun. You know, we'll do it as a family. You know what I really like about these bricks? They have these grooves, you know, so they just fit perfectly in your hand. Like, feel that? That's great. That's a bashing brick right there. This brick is begging to bash. If we don't use them, I actually think we're doing a disservice to the bricks.